See if it works now. It says we're streaming, but are we? Oh, look at it. I think it actually worked.
See if it works now.
Look at that. Let's see if it works now. I is doubled. I is tripled. It says we're streaming. I is tripled. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. We had some live streaming technical difficulties. The live streaming app did not want to work. So we had to, on the fly, do a custom RTMP. Hi, everyone. And happy almost Thanksgiving to our American viewers and Zoomers and folks. Good to have everyone. It is update week. We got an update, but let's say hello first. Hi, Ray. How are you?
I'm well, David. Thanks. It's good to be here. I have to leave early, unfortunately. I've got a project I've got to jump into shortly, so I wouldn't miss the beginning of the Zoom test kitchen. And I'll watch it on YouTube, like everybody
Projects
else.
are exciting. Projects are good. And Mike thinks he can miss a week and then just waltz right back in here. I don't know who the heck he thinks he is.
Well, David hasn't been keeping perfect tabs because it's been 2 weeks for that matter. So that
I
just
haven't been here
shows how much.
I haven't been here in 3 weeks, so don't take it personally. I don't even know what week it is.
Yes, I know. Yes,
Frank
I know.
and I have been the whole. Frank Hasmith and I have been the whole time.
That's right. You guys win the prize. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. Doing good. I'm back.
Good.
Let's see what we can do. Let's break Zoom.
Let's break it. Let's break it. Hey, Frank, how are you?
Good. Your participation mark is going to suck. I just want you to know on your report card.
Yes, it is. It's not going to look good. Hasmek, how are you,
Hi,
sir?
guys. Very well, thank you.
Good. Is this the is this your dungeon? Is this your your television room? I see you've got remote controls galore to your right.
Yeah, it's my music room. Yeah, so let me.
I'm digging the
see.
Pink Floyd poster
I
art.
was just gonna say the Led Zeppelin poster, the Pink Floyd poster. Yeah. Oh wait, we're getting the view. Wait a second. Who are you? Wait, I have to. Your Mobilearn. All right.
That's where the work is done, back there.
Oh my God, is that an isolation booth, or is that just a window?
That's just a window.
Oh, okay.
So this is the room. There we go.
What are you spinning around on? Just out of curiosity. Is that an Insta360?
Yeah.
Which are on sale for Black Friday. Insta 362s are on sale.
Yeah.
I have one in my
There we go.
shopping cart.
You know what? Can I just I'll just want to say something about the Insta360 and the what's the other thing I have?
Ozbot.
Yeah, the OBS. So here's the OBSbot. Yeah, that's the OBSbot. I have to say that the software on these, like the desktop software that used to control them, I have been really unimpressed with both of them. They look great, they look full featured, but the basic tasks, I mean, they work. It's not that they don't work. I don't know. I feel like they've made these far more complex than they need to be, and I've just felt really disappointed. Ray, what is that? Oh, that's the
This-
non-movable one, right?
Well, but it does move because it's an 8K symbol, and it can you can zoom around and pan in and what have you. It's pretty amazing, and it's got a good image, and
So
you can use all of the factors that you would as long as you're using their piece. You know. Their
So wait a
software.
second. So it doesn't have the pan tilt feature, but it just crops and moves like center stage does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Nothing moves here, and there's no gimbal, but it will, and it's a beautiful picture. I mean, it's even takes a picture of me, which is not that good, but it's
No, it's not
I think,
bad.
folks.
The reason I'm curious about the Insta 362, Link 2 it's got a 1/2-inch sensor.
What did the one have? Do you remember?
No, I don't have
I
one.
have here. This is I think this is the one. I don't even know. Wait a second. So this is the Insta360. Yeah, the original Insta360. Now, bear in mind that window's behind me from this view and the lighting is right. But I mean, it's a nice, it's a clean shot. For comparison, this is the ob spot back here. Hi. And yeah, so again, they're cute little cameras. Oh wait, I have to change this back. They're cute little cameras, and you know, if I were going and wanted to pack light and just set up a real quick, 3-shot that I would absolutely use one of these. But I don't know.
This looks nice on your desk.
The Ivy looks
It's
very nice.
the
on your
poor
desk.
man's PTZ,
It is absolutely the poor man's PTZ.
or Z as we say in Canada.
PTZ. Okay.
I never claimed to be wealthy.
No. None of us
Looks
are.
like a little Moe's action there, Doc.
Who? What? Doc? Who? What?
Little,
Dan is
little,
here.
Moe's surgery there.
Yeah, I had a minor procedure today.
Yep.
You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. They left some of the brain behind.
You know what? That's what it takes to be in the Zoom test kitchen. You have to be here minutes after surgery ends, and we expect nothing less from the rest of you.
So what's your excuse?
I know, you're right. You're absolutely right. I got nothing. Hey, let's play with some stuff. So we got oh, hello. That was kind of weird. So we got a whole bunch of little updates. I was actually playing around before we jumped in. I'm not sure that we'll actually be able to see most of them, because they're really pretty tiny. So let's look at, what should we start with? Meeting webinar features. Display your reactions above the toolbar. So this was improved visual indicators for lowering hands in meetings or webinars. So, right, we played with this last time. So now let me actually, wait, undo that. And I'm going to let me move this down here. All right. And here we go. Okay. So if I raise my hand, where the heck is the raise hand thing? I can never find it. Why can I not find it? Is it not there? Oh, it's hiding over here. Okay. So that's so strange. All right. My hand is raised now. Okay. So now look at this. This is new. You've got the lower hand doohickey here. And look at that. That's kind of nice. So now you've got two buttons to press.
David, can you explain to people what the frame we're looking at in case they're new to this? This is not a typical Zoom frame. What are they looking at? You're
So
using what?
you mean
what
this
software
thing
are you
here?
using?
Ecamm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Ignore all the other garbage on here. Sorry about that, everyone. I'll try and cover some of it up. But see, then you get that weird thing going on. So,
So this is your Ecamm dashboard.
yes, I apologize. This is Ecamm. But what's important here is we're looking at this thing, which is my Zoom window. Okay. So that's what this is. And now when I raise my hand, that always showed up unless there is a toggle on the back end. But now I believe that is by default toggled on, and we have this cute little guy here with the little down button and yeah. Ray, do you have that also?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's nice, I guess. And is it nice? I guess. Certainly doesn't bother me. All right. Next. I still think people are going to miss the lowered hand, the reminder to lower your hand. I'm not sure that's going to change
Well,
much.
the reminder's still there. I still see lower hand as a reminder there. So I can
Right.
click either on the reminder, or I can click on the lower hand.
Right. I'm just saying it sounds from the release notes that the problem that they're trying to solve here is that people were forgetting to lower their hand, and maybe this will help. I don't know. It's possible. It's certainly possible. All right. Let's all right, let's see what else there is. Oh, you know what? I have to stay in speaker view because I'm not using the app today. Sorry, Mike.
Thanks.
I disappointed Mike already. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else here. Unified experience of managing meeting assets. No, that's on the back end. I'm not sure exactly how we'll have to go into the back end for that. Let's hold off on that for a moment. Receive a reminder during to turn on AI companion. All right, well, you know what? Then let's just jump into the back end because a lot of this. Oh, wait, this one I wanted to play with. Improved speaker visibility in gallery view with follow drag order and sort by active speaker option. So this is going to be a little difficult to show folks if I don't, well, yeah. Okay. So here's what, up in the top right, you've got the view button. I've got speaker, gallery, multi-speaker, immersive. That's not new. That's all the same. Then sort gallery by, and I don't think any of this is new either. First name, A to Z, first name Z to A, last name, entry time, and entry time. None of that is new, right? Am I wrong about that? No. Okay. Then follow host video order. That's not new. I don't think anything in here is new. But it says that sort by active speaker option. And that I don't see here. So maybe because I'm not the active speaker, I'm not sure. It says here, during a meeting, users can keep the most recent active speaker visible in the gallery view. When a participant starts speaking, they will remain in their current position until they finish speaking or are muted, even if they lower their hand. Right, and this is the one that could be a problem for folks like me who need people to stay where they are. Wait, now I'm confused. What is this supposed to do? Can someone remind me? I'm going to go into, I have to go into gallery view in order to play around with this. So sorry, YouTube land. So Mike, say something.
Mike, say something. What would you like me to say?
You didn't anything. I don't know. Sorry. I want to see if you didn't move in my who's he, what's it?
Was he what's
Now-
a gallery?
Yeah. So now raise your hand and let's see if you move there.
Oh,
No, not that hand.
I think I have a video of it.
Okay. All right. Wait. So 1 second. Let's just finish this little test. So now Mike has raised his hand, and now I'm going to stop talking. You be the active speaker, but lower your hand, and let's see as you're talking, and let's see if you move.
All right. Welcome everyone to the Zoom test kitchen. Lowering the hand
No,
and
you
I'm still
moved.
talking.
You moved.
Okay.
So that did not happen. Frank, what do you know?
Sorry. I'm just I have a commercial. Hold on. Is this, I just want to make sure I'm not, no, this is from 2 years ago, so that's not right. Never mind. I don't know why
Thanks, Frank.
AI summary gave me an explanation with a video, and I thought, oh, the video will be helpful. But the video is not helpful.
I don't know what that's supposed to do for us. It's really frustrating that I can't figure it out.
David, we do have a question from YouTube.
And thank God, because I'm completely lost. No, I'm just lost with what
It's-
this is.
it's-
I mean,
it-
I don't want to give
it-
up on this, but
Yeah, it is related to the moderator. Her question is from Kelly on YouTube. She's saying, why wouldn't the moderator be able to lower the hand of someone that has already been called on?
right. Can we just talk about raised hands for a moment? Because it is a little confusing. So you can, right? The host, and I believe co-hosts also, can co-hosts lower hands? Let me, I'll raise my
Yes.
hand. Yes, they can.
Yes.
So I've raised my hand. Can you lower my hand, Mike or Ray? Yeah,
I did.
good. Okay. So hosts or co-hosts can lower other people's hands. But then there's also this thing where it's supposed to lower itself, which I have never seen work consistently. Mike, you're shaking. Do you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I do indeed. Yeah. So basically it's a hit and miss. It seems to be that let's be very generic and not technical, let's say the brain in the client is not being smart enough to understand that, that you are talking. So now it should automatically lower, but it's been very hit and miss in that regards. I have not seen it reliably work for me. And I'm wondering if that is also a meeting setting, but I doubt it for some reason. And Mr. Ray has his hand up now.
Yeah, Ray, go ahead.
Let's ignore my hand being up and see what happens. I've been ignored before by this group. So,
Okay, so we're going to put to test, not only can we ignore Ray,
welcome.
but can Zoom ignore Ray? So, all right, Ray has done, he asked his question, he's done his hand, and his hand went down. Look at that. All right, now just for
right.
reference, Ray is a co-host, so now I'm going to do it. So my hand is up, and I'm going to talk, I'm asking my question, and now I'm going to stop talking, and someone else can take over.
I'm going to take over and see if David's hand goes away. Going once and twice, and it's still there. And still there.
So
And
I got the pop-up that said, hey, it looks like you're done. You know what? Could we try one more thing? I'm going to do it again, but don't say anything. I'm just going to stop talking. So I'm asking, my hand is up, I'm asking my question, and now I'm done. And we're going to be silent for just a second. No, it still did it. What I was testing there was because I got the pop-up that said, hey, we're going to lower your hand. I wasn't sure if it's not only listening for your silence, but also for noise coming from someone else. And apparently it's just listening for your silence. So interesting. I've never had it work consistently, and now it's working brilliantly.
Frank has
No.
a good comment in the chat.
No, I don't
David.
even have my chat open. Sorry. Frank, what were you saying?
I just copied and pasted it from another source of information that Zoom gives me.
Frank is so humble. He never takes credit for things that he doesn't do himself. It's one of the
I
things
don't
we
know.
love.
Does
about
it
you.
match the release notes, what it says here?
We
Or
remain
is
to
it-
the voice of the most recent speaker in the gallery. Regardless, when a participant starts speaking, they will remain in their conversation until they finish speaking unmuted. If they lower their hand, this prevents the actual speaker from disappearing mid-conversation, ensuring a smooth. Let me see. No. Well,
Should be similar, but I'm wondering if it's different.
yeah. So this one says, I can't do both, read both. During a meeting, well, here, I'll copy it and pop it in actually. Everyone in a meeting, so that we can just kind of compare. That's the one from the release notes. During a meeting, users can keep the most recent active speaker visible in the gallery view. When a regardless of their, right, it doesn't say that part. When a person starts speaking, they will remain in their current position until they finish speaking or are muted, even if they lower their hand, which did not work with Ray before. Unless let me put myself into gallery view and let's test that one more time. So can someone raise their hand, start talking, and then stop talking? All right, Ray.
I'm starting talking because I'm able to start talking.
And so now he's done talking, and according to this, he should stay. He's in my number one spot right now. He should stay there, even though his hand should go down at some point.
I think what they're saying is
His hand
If
went
Ray
down. Now
has
he stayed
if
there.
Ray has his hand up and he's talking, and while he's talking, he lowers his hand, and he's still talking, he won't move. That's what I think I'm reading here. So if Ray puts his hand up,
All right, so
starts
let's try it
talking,
again.
Okay, now I'm talking,
and then he
and
lowers his hand while he's talking and
while I'm
continues to
talking,
talk,
I'm going to lower my hand. Did
he
I move?
won't
I moved.
move.
I
You
moved.
didn't move for me, but
I
I don't
moved
know.
on my screen.
But you didn't move on my screen.
You didn't move on
Didn't
my
mean
screen
to.
either. But
Taylor
what?
knows. Taylor and Jason are here. Finally, we've got some fresh blood to answer all these
New
questions.
perspectives.
Wait, but why? Why did he move before? I'm so confused.
I did. I moved.
You moved to
Right,
where?
so now I'm talking, and I'm in the primary position on my screen. Where am I on your screen, David?
Primary position.
Okay. And so I'm going to lower my hand while I'm talking. And on my screen, I move to second position.
You're still in primary for me.
Okay. All right.
And that's new? Before this, you would have jumped back from me also?
I can't remember. I'm just interpreting what I'm reading here.
That was weeks ago. How am I supposed to?
Yeah. So much
Yeah,
has happened.
Okay, so now, but just to be clear, now he stopped speaking. Go ahead and mute yourself, Ray. So now he's stopped speaking and he's muted. He still hasn't moved. It says here, they will remain in their current position until they finish speaking or are muted. But he still is there. Okay, let's try one more thing. All right, Ray, don't do anything yet. But in a moment, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand, tuck, lower your hand while you're talking. And then when Hasmuk, when you get sick of listening to Ray, because he's talking, raise your hand and let's see if you take his spot in pole position. And action.
Okay. I have a great story to tell. And I've probably told it here a few too many times. In fact, Hasmuk has heard plenty of it. And now he probably doesn't want to hear it anymore. But what the heck? It's just Hasmuk's opinion. He's recovering from surgery.
Second.
What was supposed to
Hold
happen?
on. Wait. Stop. Why did your hand go back up, Ray?
I think I put it up.
Okay, no. So listen. I cannot work with these actors.
Take two.
So you're going to raise your hand, start talking, lower your hand, keep talking. As soon as his hand goes down, Hasbuk, at some point right after his hand goes, you raise your hand. Okay? And you don't have to do anything else. And action.
Okay, I've raised my hand and now I'm talking and Hasmuk's going to interrupt by raising his hand. Is that what's supposed to happen? I just have to lower. Oh, thanks for the signal. I do take direction. And now I'm talking and Hasmuk's hand
you
has
moved.
popped up.
Right. And okay. So you, as soon as Hasmuk's hand went up, because your hand was down, you didn't move, but as soon as Hasmuk's hand went up, you moved for me into pole. He moved into pole position.
Is this a setting that we adjust as admins, or is this just automatic? Like the notes used to say whether or not new features were enabled by default or no enablement
Yeah.
was required. It doesn't say that. Like I actually don't like the new release notes. The tables are hard to follow, but anyways, I
agree.
digress.
Yeah. Well, let me log in as an admin and let's see if there's a setting or something that we can figure out on the back end here. Sign in. Wait, I don't want to sign to Zoom support. What? No.
Management
Zoom.us.
account settings. Wonder what that would be in meeting, I guess, right?
You know, our friends in Canada call it Zoom.us, not US.
Oh, I did that. I know you're right. I did that last week also. Zoom.us. Hey, Jason. Hi, Taylor. Sorry, we're ignoring you. This is baffling me and it's bothering me and all that other stuff.
Gallery.
You
All
look
right.
like you're deep in thought, so I didn't want to interrupt you anyway.
I believe me, I'm not deep in anything. But all right. So let me bring you all over into settings here. So what we're trying to figure, just to be clear, what we're trying to figure out is, let me go back to those release notes. Here we go. We're trying to figure out this guy right here. Improved speaker visibility in gallery view with follow drag order and sort by active speaker option. This is the piece that we're trying to figure out that we have not figured out yet. Okay, so now we're checking to see if there's like something in settings that we need to do. So meeting, sort.
While you're
Sort-
looking,
Yeah.
can I just say that who's ever making the notes for Zoom, if 6 of us can't understand this or agree as to what it means, the notes need improving because, I really rely on these notes for guidance about new things. And if there's this much uncertainty, that's, they
But am
haven't
I
hit-
just being stupid? I mean, is it
No,
clear?
I don't think it's clear at all. That's the
Okay.
problem.
So there is a setting on the back end here called sort gallery view, which is just allow participants to sort their gallery view during a meeting. Hi, Lois. I saw you pop in there. Let me search for follow, see if that brings anything up. No. Meeting reactions, gesture. No. What else might it be under? Active speaker.
So David, don't forget there's 2 sections of settings. There's the account
Right.
settings, and then there's the settings of you specifically. So
Right.
right
So
now,
I'm in account settings right now.
okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm looking at
Could it potentially be under settings under your profile specifically?
yeah, I could. I just thought I'd check here first.
Or there
Hopefully
may
you're-
be no setting whatsoever. But
correct.
in the release notes, they don't give any guidance about whether or not this is automatically enabled or if it's
Right.
something you have to do
So now I'm
yourself.
checking in my personal notes. I've got sort. No, again, nothing there for that. And let me search for whoops. Sort gallery. No. Now I don't see anything in the
Oh, wait.
settings.
I think maybe I found more information.
What?
So newer and enhanced feature, improve speaker visibility in gallery view with follow, drag, order, and sort by active speaker. Further down, it says, apart from selecting display for every meeting and display randomly, account owners and admins have the ability to choose. Oh no, that's something else. Why is that showing up there? That makes no sense for that sentence to be where it is.
Jason isn't seeing anything new either. You didn't find anything, Jason?
I
It-
have
the-
sort gallery view. Is that what you're looking for?
No, we've always had that. You could always sort, not always, but we've been able to sort gallery view. By the way, just for context, the reason why for me it's important that I understand how this works is because, and I fully understand that I'm a fringe use case, but where somebody is in the gallery view based on their hand raise or active speaker status is really important to my workflow. If Zoom is changing where those people show up, then I need to understand that so that I can adjust my workflow. But I don't know how to parse this. I really don't. During a meeting, users can keep the most recent active speaker visible in the gallery view. Now all right, let's take this apart. That piece of it. Here's this. I wonder if this may be part of the problem. I wonder if this is really geared toward meetings where you have more than 49 participants. Right? Because that first sentence, during a meeting, users can keep the most recent speaker visible in the gallery view. Of course, they're visible in the gallery view in this meeting because there are only, 8 or 10 of us. But if we had 57 people in this meeting, you would have at least 8 people who are not visible in your first gallery view. You'd have to actually switch to the second gallery view. So maybe what it means is, person number 57 will, if they are the active speaker, will stay on page 1 of your gallery views, possibly. And then it goes on, when a participant starts speaking, they will remain in their current position until they finish speaking or are muted, even if they lower their hand. And now that makes sense, because when you lower your hand, usually you jump back to your spot in the gallery. So I like the idea of them not necessarily jumping around, but we just tried that and it didn't work. Well, that's not true. It worked until someone else raised their hand, and then it didn't work.
You may be onto something. I'm just upset that the notes aren't clearer. Like what your supposition shouldn't be how
Right.
we figure this out.
Right. You're right. We shouldn't have to guess. Yeah.
So when they say the speaker, the last speaker, that's the person with the green box around it. So until,
Right.
if I stopped speaking, if no one else said anything, the green box would stay around my window until later. But I think what I hear you saying is if I raise my hand and get pumped up to the post position, the number one position, then as long as I'm talking, I will not only keep the green box, I will keep the position, whether or not I lower my hand. That's what it said.
Right. If you keep speaking, I think so. And that worked when we just tested it until someone else raised their hand, and then which I also understand that.
Because you're no longer the last speaker. Someone else.
Well, no, you are. You're still the last speaker because they haven't spoken yet. All they did is raise their hand.
So where would I go if they've taken my position? If I was in number one and they.
Right. You go back to wherever you were before.
Yeah, it's either that or I bump over one, which doesn't seem logical.
Right. So
So I don't get where you're getting the 49 from. From what you read, it seems pretty clear.
well, you're the only one who thinks that. So you definitely win the prize for today for understanding. No, because when it says during a meeting, users can keep the most recent active speaker visible in the gallery view. Active speakers are always visible in the gallery view. There's never a time in the history of Zoom when the active speaker has not been visible in the gallery view. Unless
Active speaker.
unless you have, wait a second, unless you have multiple gallery views, which happens when you have more than 49 participants or 25, depending on your setting, right? It could be if I have 57 participants that when my active speaker is done, that they jump to the second page and then they're not visible.
Yeah, but I think that's a tertiary in the logic switch. So if I'm the way that I read this is the logic is first based off of whether you raise a hand or not. So first of all, make sure that you're in gallery view, and also take a look at how you have decided to sort the gallery, whether it's by first name, by entry time, whatever. Okay. So I'm in whatever position I'm in on your screen right now. That's going to be different for each of you watching. I raise my hand and I should bump up to position 1, upper left. That is true. And as long as my hand stays there, whether I talk or not, I stay there. Whether I mute or unmute, I stay there. The dependent action first off is the raising of the hand. The second one is.
Wait a second, Jason. Hold on. Before you go on, there's one caveat to that, and that is this automatic hand lowering that Zoom
He
has.
said as long as his hand stayed raised.
Right.
Right,
As
but
long
you
as my
just-
hand stays raised.
Right.
Then
And so, what all I'm throwing in here is that when you stop talking, Zoom begins to start thinking he's done. And then it starts the countdown on lowering your hand.
Correct, but as long as my hand, so if you're thinking parent-child relationship, when you're building logic programming, hand is the first dependent. If hand up equals position 1. If hand down, then next set of logic. Talking, not talking. Third set of logic. Did anyone else raise a hand? Did anyone else talk? If anyone else raises a hand, even if I'm still talking, the hand is number 1 in the logic. It's going to the top. That person could be muted, not talking, but they hit their hand icon because that's the top of the logic. They're going to number 1. Now, assuming that nothing else happens in that logic, no one else talks, no one else raises their hand, I will stay in number 1 until I get replaced by someone who equals yes in that logic sequence.
Or
That's
unless
what I
you-
think is saying.
Unless you mute yourself.
Correct.
No, if you mute yourself, I don't think you necessarily moved before.
If his hand is down and he's still talking, he stays there. But if he mutes himself, he goes back.
No, I actually don't think he does until someone else takes his spot. I think you're in the pole position until someone else takes it, basically. At least that seems to be right. So now he had just been silent and he was still in number 1 position, and now he moved because you raised your hand.
He wasn't in number 1 position.
Well, he was for me.
He may have been for you, but for me, he was over in number 6. A long time ago, when his hand went down, he moved to number 6.
Well, that's interesting. Are you updated on, did you update Zoom?
I think so. I usually have it. I have an automatic update. Let's check it out.
That's interesting. Let's see what you're on.
But to Frank's point, I don't see a wow here. I'm not noticing functionality that's any different. Person raises their hand, they go to number 1. When their hand is lowered, they're not in number 1. Period. And unless I spotlight them as a host.
No. But that's not what just happened, Jason. When your hand went down, until someone else took your spot, in the old behavior is that when your hand went down, you would pop back into your old position
Automatically, but I think this is delayed. I think it
it's
still
delayed
happens,
until
but
someone
there's
else
a
takes the
delay
position.
timer. Yeah,
No,
that's
it
I think the
happened.
difference.
It happened right now for me when I was watching him.
Lois, what do you want? But
It was different.
what Zoom are you in now?
The current.
6.2.10?
But I checked for updates and it said you're up to date.
Can you go into the version number about? Yeah.
6.2.10.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe there's different behavior if you're a user, a participant versus a host. Frank, did you find something?
No, I just want to point out that
I-
all this controversy is good for our ratings.
So I just, Jason, can I just, because I think you and I disagree on what the behavior should be, whether it is or not. The way I understand, and by the way, thank you for that logic breakdown. That was actually incredibly helpful for me. The way I understand it, Lois just raised her hand. She is going to stay in that position while her hand is raised. Now, should I shut up and then no one else talks and she lowers her hand, she's still going to stay there until someone else takes that place.
Well, let's test it out. Everybody, hush. I jumped instantly.
No, she didn't for me. Why not?
Not for me either.
Are you
So-
guys hosts?
I
She-
am and he's not. So wait, let's look
She-
at are
She
any
did
of
for
you
me.
Here, I think I have the reasoning. I always reposition my gallery. I want to see the people at the top, the meters can be down at the bottom, So I have already moved people around on my gallery. And so now it is going back to the way
it's a
I had
custom
moved
gallery.
things. Whereas now someone was saying you could sort them by name or entry time or anything. I've never seen that, but I do know I can move people around. So maybe that's the difference. Jason,
Lo-
did you move yours around?
So yes, Lois, you moved to confirm that darn near instantly. And I'm checking sort gallery by. It's not clear which preference there is. So I'm going to say first name A to Z.
Sorry, quick question. When Lois lowered her hand, you're saying she jumped back.
Yeah, as soon as I did this, that's when
Yep.
she moved.
I had moved, yep.
That is so interesting. I raised my hand. Now I lowered it. Now I just jumped back.
Mhm.
But Lois didn't jump back. Why is that? What is going on?
Well, look back at the release notes. Is this conditional upon being a host? Is this
Right.
new, hey, new feature, wow, it's great for a host?
So it's interesting. You know what? Let me pass host to you. Can I pass host to you, Jason?
You may.
And let's see if the behavior changes. So now I'm not a host. I'm going to go ahead and raise my hand.
Wait, let me confirm that I am a host. Hold on. Okay, yes, I'm a host. So undo your hand for a second. I want to reset back to where we were. Okay, and me, David, Frank. Okay, got it. David raises hand.
And now I'm just sorry. So we're on the same page. I'm not using follow host order. So that what you just said is not my order, but that's
Correct.
fine.
Everyone is going to have a different
So
view.
my hand is
I'm
raised
just
now.
confirming. David goes to 1, upper
Yep.
left-hand corner.
And now I'm going to lower my hand, but I'm going to keep talking. So here I am. I'm talking, and I just jumped back from me.
Yep, me too.
Me too.
Not
So
me.
host has nothing to do with it.
You never move for me.
What?
You still
Not
in
me
position
either.
1?
Top
You
left.
guys must hold on.
I'm gonna.
Are you
yeah.
sorted by entry date?
I'm not sorted at all.
No. Mike, are you sorting by entry time?
No, I'm whatever the default meeting is set at.
Yeah, I have no specific sort order.
Let me see if that. I mean, it.
So Frank and Mike, can you move someone from one position to another position? Just, anybody.
David, let's try this again. But first, let me change my gallery sort to entry time because I'm going to assume that you entered darn near well before me. Okay, so now I'm looking at, and right now I still have host role.
Yep.
Me and number 1, David and Mike. David raises hand and should go to number 1 and does. David lowers hand and should go back to where he was before, and he does.
But not
And
for
did that
Frank.
change
Frank,
for
what are
you?
you on?
I'm on the latest version.
Mike, did he change this time?
What I ended up doing was I did on purpose, I chose sort gallery by, and I'm just making sure I say it right. First name Z to A. And they put me up at the top left.
It sounds,
Unless David, when David put up his hand, he took over there. I moved over to number 2. And then when David dropped his hand again, I went back to the top left.
Are you guys using multi-speaker? Because I'm in old-fashioned gallery view.
I'm
So
in
I'm using-
gallery.
we're all
Gallery
in
view.
gallery view. However, Jason, Lois, and Mike have switched someone one way or another. Either
I switched someone after you told me to. It didn't change
and
anything.
it didn't change anything.
I mean, the one person I dragged into a new spot is where I put them, but
Okay.
you finally occupied the first spot now, Lois,
I've
and
just put
David's moved to
my
second.
hand up, and I'm going to keep talking while I lower my hand and see if it does anything. I think I'm probably going to move back. I moved back on my screen. Did it move on yours, Frank?
Yeah, it moved. Yep,
Okay.
it moved when you did it. Maybe it remembers David's the host or something. I don't
So
know.
what I'm going to do, as I
That's-
usually do, is I'm going to leave. I'm going to come back. I'm not going to move anybody, and we'll try it again and see if when you enter a room, it has a different default. Is that okay?
But you know what? I want to pick up. I wonder if Frank's right. I wonder if if Zoom is remembering somehow that whatever. So maybe you should try this, Jason, the same experiment with Frank instead of with me raising his hand.
Okay, let me check
I'm
one
gonna
other
let Lois
thing
in.
here too.
Oh wait, you made me. You passed host back to me.
I did.
Sorry. I'll pass it back to you. Is that okay?
It's off, so do what you're gonna do. I am totally, haven't touched anything in this
Right.
meeting.
So I'm making Jason host again. Okay. And so now if you wouldn't mind, Jason, do that same experiment with Frank instead of with me.
Okay, so yes, I am host.
And make sure you tell me what I need to do.
Yeah, okay. So yes, I am host. I am in gallery view. I'm going, what am I sorted by? I'm sorted by entry time, first in. Okay, so Frank is in second row, middle position. So I can't, who was that in Brady Bunch? Was that Alice? Who was in the middle?
I think it was Alice. Yeah.
So Frank, you're Alice.
Raise your hand, Frank.
Yeah, not C, Alice, you're Alice. Okay, so now Frank raises hand and should go to position number 1 on my screen, and does. And Frank is muted with hand raised. Okay, and then Frank lowers hand and should go back to where he was, and does. So you're
Okay.
Alice again.
Okay, so that is wonderful because he did not move on my screen. My gallery view, just entering a meeting and not having moved anybody around, the Frank is staying there. Now, if Mike, would you?
But I haven't moved anyone either. I never moved anyone. And
Here's
he
a
jumped out
fascinating
and he moved
concept.
on
Maybe it's
mine.
broken.
Mike, would you?
Siri,
raise
stop
your hand,
listening.
please?
Go ahead, Lois.
Would you raise your hand, please?
All right.
Okay, so now the fact that he went to the position number 1 did knock Frank back to where he was. And lowering his hand did not move Mike for me.
And it didn't move Mike for me either, but why not? Maybe that's because that's Mike's natural
I
position.
feel like we spent more time on this than the Zoom engineering team that invented it.
How does this help me?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Next feature, please.
Now, just to let everybody
Can we
know,
get
I
a
did,
thumbs down icon? Does Zoom recognize that?
yeah. So what I stated purposely through the whole exercise that we just did, I purposely stayed sorted from first name Z to A, and the whole time it never modified anything. So I'm actually overriding, it sounds like to me, from what Lois is telling me, I'm overriding the meeting default that David had set up within your account, David.
I didn't
So
set anything up.
Which could be still as well default, but as far as Zoom is concerned, that is the default.
Right.
Right.
All right. I'm not host anymore. I don't
Oh,
want to be
God.
host.
No, keep it.
Okay,
Okay.
last
No.
thing before we move on to the next one.
Oh, by the way, Lois, your when you raise your hand, that color that you chose perfectly blends in with your
I know they all
wallpaper in the
do.
background. So
They all do.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I know that's true. So one last little tidbit is I have never used sort gallery by. I've never even known it existed before.
Neither have I.
There
Yeah.
it is. I sorted it by first name, and now I can't make it go away. It will always be
Hey.
sorted by something
No, you
until I
just
sort
choose
something
something
else.
else.
Yeah, right. Lois, if you go back to that, there's reorder. I did it just now. Sort order by. You should now also have an additional new action in there at the bottom where it says under entry time last and first. You should say reorder
No,
back.
it's
Oh,
not
no,
there.
no, no.
It's not
No,
there.
I don't have that
Ah,
either.
I found it. It's a separate thing. It says
Release video order. Yeah.
Yeah,
Separate chat thing. Okay.
sorry.
can
That's
go
yeah, that's
back.
what it was. And I did that. And now David is top left again.
And that I have used. That is super handy when you sort your gallery view, because if you have panelists, and assuming your panelist enter, and let me clarify, panelist is not a technical role assigned in the hierarchy of Zoom. I'm meaning if you, the host, are having other talking heads leading the class, and assuming that they show up before the audience members show up, then regardless if their name is Josiah or Zebedee, if you sort by first in, they will always be at the top, ready for you to grab and spotlight or do whatever. I use that all the time.
You know what's interesting? I remember being told that the hack is to put like a dot or an asterisk
dot or a
before their
period.
name. But you're right. We don't need that as long as they enter first. I never even thought about that. Incidentally, I just went up to my view options. Wait, now where the hell did it go? Oh, because I'm not in gallery. By the way, do you know your options up there change if you're not in gallery view? So I'm now in gallery view, and I now have an option that says follow host video order, but I am the host. That feels weird.
Are you the only host?
Are you on twice?
Do co-hosts
the
have?
other one?
No, there's
No,
only
no.
one host, but there's
David-
3 co-hosts.
Right.
No, but I mean, is David in twice?
No.
Well, I am, but from 2 different accounts.
Yeah, there's only one host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Co-hosts also have that option, David, I believe. So
Right, but why would the host have the option to follow their own video
Well,
order?
that's what I'm getting
You
at.
make everybody else follow your video order.
No,
Oh,
wait a minute. I wonder, or is that just because a co-host also has that ability? Like, is it an artifact, or does it actually do something?
oh,
It
wait,
does
that's
something.
so.
It
Hold
does
on,
something
hold
really
on.
good.
So I'm gonna change some things around here. I'm gonna move me over there, and I'm gonna put him there, and yeah, okay, I like that. And now I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna say follow host video order. I'm now
Hey.
sharing. Now I gotta put this. I'm now sharing my video order with all participants. Okay, and now I can just uncheck that. I can also release video order, which presumably will put everyone back, but you're still following me.
just
So
you.
now, if I go like this,
Yep.
Ray should have moved for you.
Yep.
Now, am I in the top right for all of you?
hmm
yes.
Mike's
No.
in position 1 right now.
Jason, where am I for you?
Mike is in position 1. David is in position 3. Top
Oh yeah, then that's what I
right-hand
said.
corner.
The top
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
Okay.
depends on what your style is. Now, I just put my hand,
Right. Sorry.
and so
Yeah.
I moved everybody over,
Right.
and that still works, even
Right.
following your order.
But to pause the tape right there, here's the key learning. As a host, when you sort your gallery the way that you want it, with the understanding that as people are talking, I might want to spotlight them, or I want to make sure that my panelists, people that are talking, are always right here in this corner so that I can grab them. You can do that using gallery sort view, and there also by choosing to force the host view, or whatever that button said specifically, I forget.
Yeah, but
follow host view. All your
None of this is new,
participants will
though.
have it.
This is all old functionality we've been
No,
over in the
absolutely.
past.
Right.
No, you're right. You're right.
And just
But you don't
and-
have to do the dot and this. I mean, if you put the period in or something, it affects the text display in the participants panel,
Right.
not the gallery
But
view.
to be clear, Jason, what I just did about having everyone follow my order, that is unnecessary for the host of a program looking to, keep their panelists in the top left. I don't need to have everyone follow my gallery order. I can just do it sort by when they join.
right. The
and-
one thing I
and-
did want to mention from
Sorry.
YouTube's world is that every time you were making the modification, David, it changed gallery view on YouTube too as well. So
Before we go any further, Mike,
Mhm.
in 10 seconds, tell me what YouTube is showing now, because I just switched to the new multi-speaker. I believe when I'm in multi-speaker, it sends out just speaker view.
yeah, right now I'm seeing, again, we're a little late. I'm seeing just us in speaker mode now.
What do you mean us? You?
Yeah, it's single by single, but even
Single
though
by
you're
single. Okay. So
Yeah,
I'm in
even though-
multi-speaker, but it only streams out speaker view. Okay.
Yeah.
But multi-speaker is captured in a local recording.
Correct. Right. Hey, Lois.
So just for people wondering why the heck was this follow order thing, if you're in a meeting with a bunch of people and you want people to take turns to do something, it's much easier if you set that follow host view. That means everybody's going to see the same thing, and you know that you're after him and you're after her, and that way the person doesn't have to call on people. It's right there.
Well, I'm in a class, and the teacher does this literally every day, because it's a language class. What they want us to do is repeat, lines or sayings to the person next to us, and they just want to basically go around the room, as it were. And so she puts us in order. She has all of us follow her order, and then there's no more asking questions about who am I asking, what am I doing. It's very clear. So it is a very helpful feature. You're absolutely right, Lois. I agree. I will say that, like Frank said, that everything that we just did, while fascinating, is old. And that this new thing, if it exists, is still somewhat bewildering.
So the last thing that I wanted to mention to people is that if you choose one of those sort by something, if you then take your little cursor and you click on one of those windows and move it, that follow or that sort by something doesn't hold anymore. It goes away.
That brings me back to Jason, what you were talking about, the hierarchy of logic. So in that hierarchy of logic, sorry, my fake knee is acting up on me. In that hierarchy of logic, you intentionally moving someone is higher up than the sort by feature. And so it supersedes that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, David, what I'm seeing is in gallery mode right now, if you did refresh to the way that you've got the meeting set up, right now it is per, host, co-hosts as we entered, and then video and non-video.
Yeah. I also, so I released that control that I had before. Something else was bugging me about why maybe my experience was different. I don't know if this would impact it, but I have show my own video so I can see myself, but I don't have show me as active speaker turned on. I don't want to see myself big whenever I'm the active speaker.
Right.
I wonder if
it's
that might
important now
affect
that you
something.
make the distinction of where you're actually turning that on and off, because there are multiple places where you can turn that on and off.
Oh, so for me, knee, sorry. It just started like out of nowhere to do whatever. Let's see.
Because the weather changed.
That must be. All right, so here it's, let me do this. It's in my settings. So there's hide self view. That's what I'm not doing. So I don't want to hide self view, but then I also don't select show me as active speaker when I talk. So what that means is that right now, for example, I mean, I've spotlit myself, but if I were to clear this right now, in my view, I am not up at the top as the active speaker. In fact, I don't even see the green box around me down below. I'm in multi-speaker view right now, and I see Mike and Jason up at the top. So the last people to speak when you have that toggled off. So I wonder if maybe that, is affecting some of this behavior also. There are so many different pieces that can affect the behavior of these toggles.
That should affect your recording if you're recording to your computer.
No, it doesn't. No. It only affects, it's a little bit like pinning. So the only thing that pinning affects is what I see.
But if you're recording to your computer, it should capture what you see.
Oh, no. When you do a local record, it's capturing.
So I think what Lois is saying, if you local record on the same machine in which you're hosting, on which those settings that you just demonstrated are, then the local recording should mirror what you're seeing on the screen of said machine.
No, I don't believe it does. So let's try it. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to record on this computer. Okay, so we are now recording on this computer. And just as a reminder for folks, I'll go ahead and do this again. So I have hide self view not checked. So I can see myself. It's not the, if I were to check that, well, now I'm spotlight again, but let me unspotlight myself. So now I'm not even in the gallery. Let me go back to gallery so people on YouTube can
Only
see.
for you.
Only for me, correct. Only for me. So I'm not in the gallery, but I like myself. So I'm going to come back there. And then the other thing that I have, I do not have show me as active speaker when I talk. So again, I'm going to take me off spotlight and I'm going to click that. And so now for me, I became the active speaker. And now when I unchecked it, Lois, because she was the last speaker, is still shows up there. All right, so we've done all of that. Now I'm going to stop the recording. And now you all have to talk because I can never remember how to actually access a local record during a meeting before the meeting stopped.
Yeah, I've never figured that one out either because it has to transcribe it or
You can't
No,
access a local recording while it's recording.
No, you can. There's if you double click on
so
it.
you stopped recording, David?
Oh, I see. If you stop the recording.
Yeah, so you stopped
yeah.
it. So then, and you're on Mac. Whatever your
hold on, I'm
file
here. Here, I got
explorer
it.
is called.
Yeah,
The Finder.
Double click vert. Yeah, it's converting. Okay.
There you go. Yes, right. So
Here,
you
let
find
me actually
you find
show
where
people.
that file is. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, my Zoom is in my documents. So I go to Zoom, and then it creates a folder automatically for every meeting.
Based on
And then-
date.
Right, exactly. And then within that, I had before two. Let me see. I can find another one that I haven't converted, just so you can see. Hello.
it converts automatically when I get
When
out.
you
When you
when
end
you
the meeting.
end.
Yeah, I can't. I have
leave.
nothing else to show you. But
David, you didn't hit save yet.
yeah, I know. There were two files here. They look like duplicates. There's a 1 and a 2, and you click go, or you double click it rather, and then it converts it. So here is
And
the
it's
video
the same
of this
in
meeting.
Windows.
Okay, so
Yeah,
let
it's
me.
the document folder in Windows too. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So here is what we just recorded. Now, well, let's just see what happens. So on this computer. Okay, so we are now recording on this computer. And just as a reminder for folks, I'll go ahead and do this again. So I have hide self view not checked. So I can see myself. It's not the, if I were to check that, well, now I'm spotlight again, but let me unspotlight myself. So now I'm not even in the gallery. Let me go back to gallery so people on YouTube can
Only
see.
for you.
Only for me, correct. Only for me. So I'm not in the gallery, but I like myself. So I'm going to come back there. And then the other thing that I have, I do not have show me as active speaker when I talk. So again, I'm going to take me off spotlight and I'm going to click that. And so now for me, I became the active speaker. And now when I unchecked it, Lois, because she was the last speaker, is still shows up there. All right, so we've done all of that. Now, all right, so that was a local recording. What it did is it only recorded the spotlight,
Recorded speaker mode.
the active speaker, right?
And it showed you as active speaker.
Correct.
Because he was active speaker.
Right, but he was
Right, but even no, but the point is no, but the point is that remember I had told Zoom. Wait, I have too many things on my screen. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
It means that what you saw isn't what got recorded. That's the whole.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. That regardless of what I'm looking at, so again, just like pinning does not affect recording. It doesn't affect streaming. It doesn't affect anything. It just affects my personal experience. It's the same thing is true with those toggles. When I turn off show me as active speaker, it's only for me. It doesn't affect anything else. Frank, did you want to jump in?
Sort of, but I want to make sure you're done that topic. I'm going back to the thing that started the meeting that we haven't resolved.
Okay.
I have an update hot off the presses, but I'll wait till you're done your topic.
No, are you kidding?
All right,
Can't
I'll put it.
wait.
I reached out to the excellent education support team at Zoom when we got deep into the weeds on that, and I didn't know if they'd answer this quickly, but they answered. So I'm going to paste their answer in the chat. I'm stripping out the person's name and stuff because it's a sort of only education customers are supposed to talk to them, but I'm just going to put their answer in the chat. You can read it and tell me if you understand it.
Okay, here we go. This is so exciting. All right. Below is how the logic of this feature was defined by our Jira.
Jira is a ticketing system that organizations
Okay.
use to do support for
Thank you.
IT stuff.
All right. Problem statement. If a user creates a certain video order and then someone raises hand, is speaking and lowers hand. I need to read this again. Hold on. If a user creates a certain video order and then someone raises their hand, is speaking and lowers their hand, the user will disappear even when still speaking. Okay. So steps to reproduce. User drags certain video tiles to lock video order. Someone not on the first page. See, this is what I was talking about, the pages. I thought it had something to do with that. Someone not in the first page raises hand and starts to speak. User will see him move to the first page, first position. Raised hand user will be speaking, but their hand lowers. Raised hand user now goes off screen and cannot be seen even though they're still talking. So they're still in the gallery, but they're on page 3 of the gallery or whatever. Solution, keep recent active speaker as a sorting criteria for the gallery, but we don't see that. That's what we don't see. There is no
But
keep
we don't
recent
have
active
to-
speaker as a sorting criteria for the gallery. User will not move to another place before they finish talking. Once finished talking and or muted, user can be resorted.
But we
So the
don't have 2 pages, David. Remember
So you're saying, so you think that, so you think
depending on
that will,
restriction.
so you think sort by recent active speaker or keep recent active speaker will show up as an option if we have more than one page of.
Maybe it would make
So-
sense.
So for the YouTube record, it is 4:08. About 40 minutes ago, I suggested, I think this might have something to do with not having multiple pages, and everyone poo-pooed on me. So maybe that's the issue. In which case, unfortunately, we can't test it.
Frank, your verdict is?
Yeah, Frank, what do you think?
Great Poupon is excellent. I don't know. What do you want from me?
And I was going to count on the AI to explain all what I missed.
I will say, again, I do want to say, I mean, the problem statement they have is absolutely correct. That, and this happens to me. This has happened to me when I have multiple pages. I know. So my use case is slightly different, but it's the same idea. So I look at the gallery view on my Stream Deck using OSC, and so when someone raises their hand, I never have to change gallery pages because the only people I ever end up taking action on are the people who either raise their hand or, you know, speakers who I have put into their own page, their own group, or whatever. If someone were to lower their hand, or if I were to lower their hand before they're done speaking, and they came from page 2 or page 3, I can never find them again. So the idea behind this, if it actually does exist when we have multiple pages, is a very, very good idea. Unfortunately, we may just not be able to test it today. Lois.
Okay, 2 questions. First is, we don't all have the capability of having 49 people on a screen. If you have fewer people on the screen, let's say you've got an iPad and you're restricted to what, 9? I don't know what the restrictions are. Can one choose the restrictions? Can you say, I only want to have 4 people on my first page and then go to another page?
No, there is a toggle in, let me
To go
pull it
from
up here for you.
24 to 49.
Right,
Yes.
25 to 49. So let's just show folks where that is. If you go into your settings excuse me. Again, under video, and you scroll down just a little bit, maximum participants displayed per screen in gallery view, 25 or 49. And this also has to do with, I think the capacity of your machine, right? It's not
A
just
lot of
screen
people
size.
don't have that 49 as an option because they don't have a
Right.
big screen.
Right. And you're an iPad. Now, in an iPad, though, iPads are, or at least, I don't know about iPad. Phones are different because with a phone, there is really no gallery view. There's active speaker or screen share. And then if you swipe, you just kind of get a scrolling list of everybody else in the gallery. I think at least that's.
Are you sure you don't see 3 or 4 people at once and then swipe to go to another 4?
Well, I don't know. Let me join this meeting. Let's see.
Okay, so while you're looking something up,
Yeah. Someone. Yeah. Good.
the way that I used to do this when we had a meeting that was more than 49 people, and someone wanted to speak. As soon as they raised their hand and wanted to speak, one of the co-hosts would go into their on participants and would physically change their name, would rename them with a star and a space in front of it. And that meant that even once they weren't speaking anymore, we still had them at the top of the list in the participants. It doesn't change the gallery view, but on participants, we could still find them and make sure that everything was off and everything was correct. And then we'd change their name back to normal. And so that was how we handled losing people in multi-page things. Didn't help with the gallery, but it helped us with our participants.
I'm almost there, but someone else has to say something.
Someone else has to say something?
Yeah,
will
I'm
say-
getting there. I'm just sorry. I'm getting there. I'm just waiting for the mirroring to kick in.
I'm thinking that there's about 17 release notes. We will take about till January to get through them at this speed.
Well, that's good. That means we're actually okay. So here is I'm in Zoom now, and you can see myself up at the top, and then the active speaker in the middle. And then if I scroll to the right, then I get just all the different people in the gallery. Now let me quickly do it, what do you call it, this way. And so again, you've got, why are you seeing, yeah, oh, okay. Just look at the phone part, sorry. So within the phone, you've got, again, me, although now I'm cockeyed, and the active speaker. If I scroll to the right, and again, I can just scroll up and down and see the different people.
I think you can scroll to the right. Can't you scroll to the right and to the right and to the right?
No. So I can scroll to the right from active speaker to gallery.
And then
But-
keep going. Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And let me do this. Let me do it this way again. It's a little easier to see this way. So again, the right to left switches you basically from active speaker to
Okay, so I'm
gallery
going to
view.
raise my hand and see what happens on your iPhone. Yep, I jumped.
Is this
Yep.
tiles giving you the frame of an iPhone?
No, this is Ecamm.
Ecamm's doing this? Cool.
Yeah. And then my phone is just AirPlaying to an Apple TV that's plugged into a switcher. That's all. Sorry, Lois, go ahead.
I said, thank you for making the test, and let's move on.
Yeah, I'm not sure if an iPad is different, but for what it's worth. And I just brought the entire meeting down to 7:20, but now that I'm gone, should be back up. Oh my Lord. Okay.
That was a deep dive on a very narrow
Yeah,
announcement.
but it was fun though.
And David, FYI, just from the YouTube world, we're officially broadcasting today at 1080p.
Yeah, so when we had our streaming problems at the beginning, I had to do RTMP and 1080 was chosen. I'm not sure if that's because the app doesn't support 1080p yet, but doing an RTMP direct out of Zoom, you can
I read
choose-
this week that YouTube supports portrait streaming now, as well as like normally it was landscape. Now it supports.
Oh,
Really?
yeah, you're talking about 9:16, Frank,
Yeah.
correct?
I don't understand 9:16, so I don't.
You understand 16:9?
This way,
No, I know that.
this way.
I don't
Wow.
understand why anyone. I'm such a snob when it comes
For
to
one of the rationales is for people who are doing stuff like to Instagram or those sort of platforms, it's easier to watch a long form something holding your phone this way. Or at least that's one of the excuses I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, right. No, I get it. I just, and I mean, I totally, it makes perfect sense for the scroll to have it vertical. You know, you can just, with your thumb like that, I absolutely understand that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a snob.
Vertical video must die, but
Yeah.
many people don't agree.
I'm kind of with you there.
So wait, maybe that's another split and schism that we'll have in our community. The verticals.
I think it's a
Oh, I think it's already there.
I think it's also a age division too.
I think it's whether or not you started out with a phone or you started out with a computer and then have to make do with a phone.
Partially. I also, it's, you know, kids, I just look at my daughters. I mean, they're not, my youngest doesn't consume content in the same way that I do. She doesn't. Sometimes she does. Sometimes she'll binge watch a show, but the social media content, it's not the same watching that it's flipping. It's quick. It's, I don't know. It's it feels different to me.
The history of cinematography makes me biased. Like it's always been landscape because I think that's how the first, mass art, painting and stuff was usually landscape. Not always, but quite often. And that was adopted as the film standard, and that's what, then television adopted it as well. And then, mobile devices changed everything. So
Well, with photography though, no, you had
oh yeah, I know.
you had 4:3, you had 1:1, you
I know,
had 2:3.
but-
So there were all kinds of different aspect
The
ratios.
television definitely followed film, right?
No, television went 4:3.
Okay, I guess what I'm saying is this way is more than this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Although I do remember, I've never seen one in person, but television sets that were round.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Square box,
old
but round
televisions-
CRT.
Or they had very curved edges. I remember. Yeah.
The curved edges were because of the manufacturing process to keep them from imploding, though, right?
Wait, was it really?
Wasn't it? The
I have no idea.
CRT
Why would they
tubes.
implode? That's so interesting.
That's how you never hit an old-fashioned TV with a brick and watch it implode?
No.
That's a rite of passage when you're a young guy.
Wait, what?
We're so off the Zoom test kitchen.
We've gone into the depths of everything. But yes,
Deviant
YouTube-
Canadian behavior.
and junkyards. But basically, check out your latest YouTube. You could actually find these videos online.
That's hysterical. Okay. So there were a bunch of updates to.
Oh, we're back to updates. Good.
Yeah, we're back to updates. A bunch of updates to. Let me put that over there, and I'll put this over here so we can look at both. We can kind of look at both. Mail and calendar. There were some. Oh, thank you. I keep forgetting to do that. Integrate surveys, and there was a lot of UI stuff around meeting cards and things like that. So integrate surveys and polls in the Zoom desktop app. Well, so that's one thing. So
Do you want to get rid of that black square so we can see what you're talking about?
no, because this is my Zoom application.
And just
Is
to
that what-
clarify, right?
Is that
just so
what?
that
Wait, is that what you're talking about? This
Yeah.
is my Zoom. Yeah,
your
I just
Zoom
have everything in
Workplace
dark mode. That's
app.
I think what
Thank
she's
you.
asking is, can you send it to the back so that it's not obscuring the document that you're sharing?
I would always go like that
Thank you.
because I
They
want us
didn't
to be
get
able
their
to see that.
terminology correct in this documentation, by the way,
Why do you say that? What do you mean?
because it's the Zoom Workplace app, not
Oh,
the
what did they
Zoom
say?
Desktop app.
Oh, they said that really?
Unless they're saying that this won't work on a web-based session, that you have to be on the desktop client.
Well, it does say over here. It does say it's for Windows, Macs, and Linux.
Right, that's what they mean, but they retired the desktop client terminology, right? And it was the Zoom Workplace app was the
Right. They probably have a style guide and they probably didn't follow it.
Okay. So let's see here. Oh God, sorry, it's going too fast. So what were you just looking at? I've lost my mouse.
Something about mail.
Oh, surveys and
Oh,
polls
sorry.
in the Zoom desktop app. So
David,
First-
that's real pixelated. Is that just the way it is, or is there something weird going on?
I don't know.
I see it fine.
Yeah,
You see
your
it?
fault.
Lois, I'm gonna post the link to the article if you want to
Thank
read
you.
it for yourself.
Oh, then I can read it on the side and actually read it.
Oh, you know what? I didn't realize, everyone. Right here in the desktop app is there's a little settings cogwheel. Never saw that before. Okay. Filter view. No. Okay. I'm looking for. I don't see surveys and polls anywhere.
The only survey one I remember is the one where you that's after the meeting if the health of your meeting wasn't good.
Right.
Was there some other one?
Well, you can create any kind of poll you want. Right? I mean, you can. I've made.
Were
lots
you
of,
here last? Were you here last week?
Yeah.
I thought I showed. Maybe I'm on the wrong page. I don't know. Sorry.
No. Talk. What am I? Sure. I'm
Last
showing
week
it
we
up.
showed how you could have a survey after the meeting that was related to in the dashboard, the admin dashboard, if you set the metrics for your health
Yeah.
of the meeting.
Absolutely. I don't think that's what this is, though.
Oh, okay. That's then I
I
don't know
could
what
be
we're
wrong
talking-
with this. Surveys and polls. The fact that it says polls is what's making me think that. Right? They can users can access manage surveys and polls directly from the Zoom desktop app. They can create
Oh.
new surveys or polls, manage their personal survey library, yada yada yada
I get
yada
it. I
yada.
get it. All right. I was
Now,
on the wrong concept.
But again, I don't have any idea where that is.
So it's not when you're in the meeting, it's from the desktop. I'm going to use the old fashioned terminology, the desktop client.
Right. No, I understand. So this is a different computer, a different client. So this client is not in this meeting right now.
Let me find mine.
And
More, click on more.
yeah, I was just there.
Notes,
We've got
apps,
mail,
more.
team chat, clips, apps, notes, contacts, huddles, workflows, scheduler, and whiteboards. I haven't been to huddles in forever.
It's so weird.
Um,
I don't see it either, David, but
yeah.
maybe it's yet to appear.
Well, let's ask AI. Where can I access my polls and surveys from within the Zoom desktop app? Okay.
History.
Analyzing. To access your polls and surveys in the Zoom desktop app, follow these steps. Open the Zoom desktop app on your computer. Navigate to the polls or surveys section in the app. Well, great, but where the hell is that? Okay, hold on. Where is the polls section?
If it's here, it's not obvious.
I don't think it's inside.
Find the polls
I think
section
it's
in
on your-
Zoom. Access the users can create and manage polls directly with the app viewing. Okay, so it drew directly from the. For meetings and webinars, the survey settings, including polls, are located in the meetings and webinar section of the settings. But I don't think that's.
that sounds like verbiage from the web interface, but
Yeah,
click on
I'm-
the cogwheel and see if it is true.
which
meeting.
Oh, from here you mean?
Yeah, and then
Oh,
let's find
oh,
meetings.
right. There's no
Audio,
meetings.
video, there's no meetings. Okay, so that's web terminology.
So you have to go to your account on the Zoom website.
Well,
That's
you-
always been
you-
true.
you- right, you shouldn't have to, but maybe, yeah, maybe it's not.
So maybe the buttons didn't get released yet.
This is such a fail on our part. We all these new things and nothing's working. All right. Next, mail and calendar, Zoom mail enhancements, unified medium card design across meetings and chat. Users can view a redesigned medium card. Is that like when you talk to dead people? What's a medium card?
It's not too big, it's not too small.
Medium card.
Just right.
With the unified interface across the meeting and chat tabs. Well, let's go into chat. And I'm going to pick on Ray. So here's his card. I don't know if this is the medium card or the small card or the big card. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say mine is extra large, but wait a second. Wait.
There it is.
Wait, I can't hear that when it comes through. Why can't I hear that?
You're gonna make us
Oh, I
lose
know
our
why.
G rating.
Wait, but wasn't that just a thingy dingy? But why couldn't I hear it? That's really frustrating. Hold on.
No, we can hear it.
Yeah, but
Maybe
I
you can't
can't hear it.
Well,
Why can't I hear it?
mix minus. I don't know.
Oh, I know why. Wait.
There's
Oh,
too
now I
much
can hear it.
stuff going on.
No.
This is the most chaotic Zoom test kitchen we've had in a long time.
Did you figure out what these cards are?
No,
Medium curds.
medium cards. You know, one thing I will say about the app that I mean, to be fair, I probably don't use it as much as I should, but there used to be a meetings tab up here. And I believe it was a couple updates ago, they merged meeting and calendar together, I think.
They did, and then they gave you a way to unmerge it because there was a lot of complaining about that.
Right. I don't really care for it. There's a way to unmerge it.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see.
unmerged it too.
Really? Okay. It's
Where
it's
do you
probably
find
on the
that
back.
setting to unmerge it?
It's
Yeah, that's
in
right.
the Zoom web portal.
Oh, it is.
I think it's under your personal settings,
Yeah, let's
under
look.
meeting or calendar. I can't remember which one. It was a couple of weeks ago I did it.
Calendar. Let's see.
Just maybe
Bidirectional sync. Show
maybe
invited.
search merge or something
Yeah.
in the top search bar, so you don't have to search through the whole thing.
I searched for cards and I have 4 instances of something in the Zoom support documents.
You're still on cards?
Isn't that what we're talking about?
No, we moved on a while ago.
Sorry.
Lois is a completionist. She's not moving on until we've figured out everything.
Well, I still don't know what the heck cards are, although I can
Well, I
tell-
know what cards are. I don't know what medium cards are.
Oh, I can tell you that. I've got it right here.
What's a
Go
medium
for it.
card?
And so this section is called Addition of a Private Event Icon in Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, etc. Users can differentiate visually between public and private events with the addition of a private event icon to small, medium, or full event cards, as well as to the calendar side panel.
That's in
That-
Zoom events.
No, that's under mail and calendar features.
So that makes it sound like you can basically flag an event as private and then choose how big the flag is.
Calendar.
Sounds like to
So
me.
calendar. Oh, maybe. No, I don't know. I'm on calendar in the Zoom Workplace app, desktop app client thingy. Cards.
And the next place where card shows up is the Zoom app cards in team chat. All right. And the next one is a team chat feature. You can add activity center cards for emoji reactions in chat messages. And finally, number 4, this is in the notes. The Add Activity Center cards for emoji reactions in chat messages feature has been removed from this release due to a late bug discovery and will be available in another upcoming release. I guess I stumped the panel, huh? Everybody's quiet.
I don't use
David,
the
you're
Zoom
muted.
calendar very much, so
I'm honestly a little befuddled by these release notes. I really am. I'm again, it is entirely possible and probable that this is user error on my part, but I don't know. It's really just
In searching for the setting to unmerge calendar and meeting, I found another setting that I know is helpful for those advanced users. And that is the switch that says join different meetings simultaneously on desktop. That allows you to join more than one Zoom meeting at the same time on the same desktop.
if you have the right kind of license.
Correct, assuming you have the correct
and from
license.
so essentially what that means is you could be on
2 meetings at the same time on the same computer.
not from the same client though, right?
No,
You'd have to have
that-
two different
that-
clients somehow.
No, that switch allows you to do the same client.
How do you join two different meetings from the same client? I know they
Uh,
don't call it a client anymore; they call it an app. But how do you even do that?
It's a
So
toggle.
like if I wanted to join, so I'm in the show meeting, right? Let's say like I want to join another meeting. All I have to do, the way I would do it is I would either click on the link to the next meeting I want to join, or I would go to Zoom's website, click join meeting and type in the credentials.
Oh, but no, but that's different. So that's not using the app a second time. That's using the desktop, the web interface.
No. I just use the web to get me into the meeting, but the meeting actually opens up on my desktop.
All right, so let's try this. So I'm gonna start a meeting.
Uh-huh.
Let's turn the camera off because there's no need for that. I'm gonna mute that. So I'm now in a meeting, which is not the Zoom Test Kitchen meeting. And now I want to join another meeting. Now
Yep.
I want
So
to.
let me start a meeting. Okay.
All right, and then you'll send me the
And
what do
then
we call it?
and then I'm gonna send you the link.
And then I have no idea how I'm gonna join it because I
Just
don't have.
click on the link. Just click on the meeting link. And
Yeah, but I think it's gonna have me join. Okay, well, let's give it a shot.
all right, I'm
Maybe
sending
you
it.
should give host to someone else so that this meeting won't end if something.
No, I'm not. I'm doing this on a second computer. So this meeting is not involved at all.
So
All right.
there you go, David.
Yep. All right. So I'm copying this.
Put it in the browser and join it like you would any other time.
Well, I never joined like from a browser, but okay. So
and
open
now
Zoom.
click join. Yep, join with Zoom. And in a
What
second,
happened? What?
go ahead and hit allow. Now you should have 2 meetings open on your desktop right now.
Wait
2
a
windows with 2 different
second.
meetings,
Hold on.
assuming you
gotta
have
be
the
kidding
setting
me.
enabled.
Look at that. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I checked.
Yep, there you go.
Huh.
So my use case for this is when I'm preparing for different shows for office hours. I'll have the stage up in one, right? And then I'll have kind of a behind the scenes meeting going on a second one. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm hanging out in one meeting while I'm waiting for somebody to join another meeting. So I can have both open.
Presumably the
Wonderful.
audio could get complicated though. No, I mean, maybe not.
Yeah, audio and even video can get complicated because obviously only unless I'm running some fancy software, my camera can only be used by one meeting or the other. It
Wait,
can't
really?
be used by both of them.
Hold on. So I'm gonna try my FaceTime camera on.
Yeah,
in
David,
that-
that's based on the operating system, like Tyler is talking about, that and the video driver of your, let's say, your webcam. If the webcam allows multiple
No,
programs to be able to access it, then it should.
no, it works. Look, I'm in both meetings with my FaceTime camera.
Oh, well, I'm on a Windows 10 PC with a Logitech Brio, and my Brio will only allow me to use it on one or the other.
I wonder if maybe it's a PC Mac thing. So I'm in a Mac and I'm in both of these meetings with what do you call it? With
Yeah,
the same
so
camera.
Correct.
If-
So let me get into a little more techie what I meant by driver. So basically, every device that plugs into a computer is officially needing a driver in the operating system. So now, depending on the manufacturer of the product and their manufacturing team of the driver, will depend on how they make that driver work on the operating system. So specifically, Logitech, like Taylor was just talking about, is a perfect example where they don't expect you to use a webcam in multiple programs. So they never built that functionality into, in this case, Tyler's Windows driver. And that's quite popular in Windows, and especially in the Windows operating system world.
So Mike, on Mac, I think they have drivers built in for most things. Usually if I get a machine and I go to plug it in and it's got all this drivers and stuff, I don't bother with any of that. I just plug it in and see if it runs. 90% of the time, it runs. So I have a feeling that the Mac comes with generic drivers, which may be why there's a difference, do you think?
Yes and no. Sometimes the operating system does have a library that it has in the operating system already of common brands of products. But again, the devices themselves have a special, and I don't really want to get too techie, but let me just say that there's special communication that will go on between the device and the operating system to let it know that it is an X compliant based. It needs at least a basic generic driver until you actually install the proper driver for the machine. So it might work. Basically, you might not have the full functionality, but let's say in a webcam scenario, the camera will turn on and you'll see video. It might not get you to the highest resolution of that camera without the proper driver from Logitech, but it will work. So again, it depends on the manufacturer and it depends on the operating system would be and the engineering team making the driver so that it works, that product works on the operating system.
Thank you.
My
By the way,
apologies.
so-
I didn't mean to derail the entire conversation, but
No, it's cool.
That's cool, Taylor. No, again, you're right. Your Logitech, your Brio won't. It's just that's a limitation of Logitech. It's not your fault. It's not Zoom's fault because Zoom, if Windows is not allowing it to be in multiple Zooms, that's the driver's problem. That's not Zoom's problem. Zoom can only work off of the drivers that it's allowed to touch.
I have a question, David. When you have those two meetings going, I noticed they were two separate windows. And of course, being a Mac, whichever window you touched last is the one that's active. Is that changing what you hear as far as sound? Is the sound following the active window? Or is the sound competing? Or how does that work? Taylor, you've done this before. How does that work?
so on the PC side, I mean, the sound just comes out, right? And if I'm not doing my best to control it, I just hear both meetings together.
So both
Now,
together.
if I throw David off here, I'm sending me back to me because he's sharing sound on the computer that he's on. So I'm hearing me back to me because I'm talking right now in two meetings. So the sound can get complicated, right? On the PC side, you know, the PC doesn't stop anything. You know, if you have, you know, two meetings open, you're going to hear sound from both meetings at the same time.
In the
Unless,
Windows sound mixer, do you see more than one iteration of your sound device?
um,
And if so, can you fade one of them down?
I assume you can mute in Zoom. So if you have two Zoom windows, you could mute one or not the other.
Yeah, but if you want to, like, say, have meeting A be at 70% volume and meeting B be at 35% volume, can you do that
yes,
in the sound mixer?
yes. It does show two Zoom instances in the sound mixer. Now they're not labeled clearly, so you're going to have to, you know,
Oh joy.
you
Yeah.
know, play with it for a second and go, okay, I want to turn this one down. Oh, nope, that's not the one I want to turn down. I want to turn down this one. So, you know, you
Well,
have
you
to
can
play
do
with
that
it for a
in the
second.
Zoom window too. Each Zoom meeting has its own sound control. So you could make it higher or lower.
I'm not sure in Windows if it would work like that because your sound mixer controls your sound devices, right?
Well,
Yeah.
you also got to be careful about that because on the Windows side, some of the sound settings I like to refer to them as global sound settings. So you may be altering, you may think you're altering sound settings for one of the meetings you're in, but in reality, you might actually be modifying it for both meetings. So it's just one of those things. Is I would just recommend get in there, get into that situation, and then kind of navigate from there. It's really hard to describe how to navigate it until you're in that situation or in that type of setup.
And
it'll be
also,
different
yeah,
for a
you can also on the PC side too. It's very similar to the Mac, where you also have ways of routing stuff. You could actually get into the weeds where Taylor hasn't got into the weeds yet, but you can really get into the weeds in Windows, where you could actually start using virtual cable.
Mac has it built in. It's called an aggregate sound device, but you have to create it yourself. Like you have to go into a utility that comes with your Mac. You have to go in there and you have to say aggregate, and then you have to create it. But
Yeah.
completely different operating system.
Frank, you said that this was dependent on the type of license you have. Do you know, like, who can turn this on and who can't? Start two meetings
I
at
think
once?
you need a business license or an enterprise license, but don't quote
No.
me on that.
Okay.
I don't
Um,
think pro users can have more than one meeting at a time.
Gotcha.
At least that's how it always was.
I mean, that
actually,
makes sense.
actually, Frank, I'm gonna share some information. I just downgraded from a business account to a pro account,
And
and
you
I
can
have
still
that
do it?
switch. I have that switch still available to me.
Yeah. Again, I'm never good with these things that aren't enterprise licenses because I don't follow. But I know in the last 2 years, Zoom has kept changing the licenses and what they allow and what they don't allow. So they may be allowing more now as there's more competition
And
after
maybe
the
also,
pandemic.
you have, it's an artifact for you that, after the, which, don't tell anyone, it's a wonderful artifact to have.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or it could be that they don't have as many customers after the pandemic, so they're being giving a little more value for a dollar. I don't know. But they've
Yeah.
also segregated the licenses because now they have Business Plus, they have Business and Business Plus, they have Enterprise and Enterprise Plus. So they're also putting in stratifications, right?
Yeah. So David, sorry, I might have missed it. Did we show where we enable and disable that?
Did I? I don't
Before
remember.
you
Hold
do
on.
that, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say, like, I'm not in charge of everything that happens where I work, but I would strongly and have strongly advised against allowing people to have more than one concurrent meeting because most people can't use Zoom very well when they're focusing on one meeting, and they would just ruin both meeting experiences for themselves if they don't have medium or better tech skills.
I think the use case, at least that I can think of, is if I'm the running a program and I've got my speakers in one meeting and my audience in another meeting, and then I'm kind of bringing, them in and through vmix or whatever. I mean, I can imagine a time that's essentially what I do, right? What I do is I except that Zoom is built into Ecamm, I start a meeting in Ecamm, and then I send that I'm in one meeting, then I send that into a traditional Zoom meeting. It's the same idea,
Sure,
except
but
I'm using
you're
two
not
different
the
clients.
average user. You're a
No, of course
sophisticated
not.
user.
Of course not.
I
Well,
can have a
more
swimming
about
pool without a fence. I put up the fence for two reasons: to limit my own liability and to protect people who are foolish or whatever word you want to, impulsive, whatever. A lot of the people that I support would ruin both meetings by having two meetings because they're having trouble having one good meeting because it's too much for them.
Yeah. Just real quick, because Mike asked that setting to turn this on, even though we just told you you probably shouldn't, is if you just go to your personal settings. So it's not admin, it's not an admin level. It's in personal settings. Just search for join different meeting, and it'll pop up there.
I
at the
actually,
top.
though, I think it has to be enabled as a global setting
Oh,
first
does
before
it?
it'll show up in your personal settings.
Let's
Otherwise, I
look.
wouldn't be able to stop people from doing it.
Oh, interesting. So let's just check real quick. Join different meeting.
At least on enterprise, maybe it's different for
So
you.
there is allow user to, yes, allow you. So if you have something above pro, I guess, allow users to join different meetings at the same time on one desktop device. You'll have to enable that on. Yep. Thank you.
Which I
Yep.
don't.
Yeah,
Which
Frank,
you don't, right? Jason
Frank,
and Lois.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, just Jason has hand up. I apologize. Oh, we can't hear you, Jason. That's weird.
Oh, sorry.
There you
The simple use case that this solves was way back in the day. There was a 15-minute timer between when you ended one meeting and when you could start another meeting. And so if you were rolling from meeting to meeting, or
I think that
if
still
you were
exists.
if you were the
I think
host
it's still 10 minutes.
and you needed to open a room up to let your other panelist, co-host, people in. So that's a good use for this, where your one meeting ran over, your co-hosts and other people are waiting for you to open room B. You can launch that second instance, get them in, chat with them or whatever, let them get their stuff situated and set up, and then
Yeah,
close
because if
room A.
you open the second meeting, you'd end the first meeting. But I also know there's a lot of people who try to do this because they don't want to pay for two Zoom licenses, and they give someone else the host key, and they're just trying to not give Zoom two paychecks.
Yeah, then it gets really squirrely. Not recommended.
Lois, go ahead.
So I'm wondering if I had my phone as my camera in one meeting, what would stop me from putting the other meeting on the screen and taking a picture of it, and being in the second meeting being a picture of the first meeting? Is there anything that would stop that? You're muted.
Phone is on a different account, or if your phone's on the same account?
But if I've got okay, so the phone is just the camera.
The phone is just the it's not in a meeting.
No, I'm in a meeting on my computer. I've got two windows open like you just had, and I switch my camera to the phone, and then I can do that and see everybody.
What's the question?
There's nothing to stop you from doing that, is there?
You can join the same meeting from more than one device.
There's two separate meetings.
Then you're still using your Zoom license.
Uh-huh.
So it knows that it's you. And if
Yeah.
your account doesn't allow you to be in two meetings, you can't be in two meetings.
Oh, but David has two meetings going on his computer.
Because his license allows him to do that.
I understand that. Okay,
Not because he's on a different device, though.
No.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I don't
Never
understand.
mind. I think my question is just wrong. So
No, it's just if your license allows you to do it, you can do it from your computer. You could do it from two different devices. If your license only allows you to have one meeting and then you join it from a different kind of device, it's still your user credentials, so it's going to know it's you. That's
Oh,
what
you
I'm
can
saying.
I can join from my computer and join additionally from my phone
To the same meeting.
for the same meeting as a pro account. That's no problem. That's not what I'm talking about. So let's just keep going.
You can?
Sure. A mobile device and a computer will not kick each other off.
I actually thought they got rid of that limitation recently.
There's a handoff thing, isn't there?
No, there used to be a limitation. You could only be in the same meeting with different devices, one of each class. You couldn't join the same Zoom meeting with two computers. You couldn't
With the
join it with
same
two
account.
phones, but you
Yeah.
could join it with a computer and a phone, or a computer
Oh.
and a tablet. But I
And-
thought they relaxed that restriction in the last 6 months.
Interesting.
I know it will prompt you and ask you if you want to
Right.
switch or join additionally. The verbiage, it doesn't say join additionally, but that's essentially the gist of it.
Yeah.
Using the same login credentials.
But for the longest time, especially during the pandemic and for a while after that, you could not join a Zoom meeting with your same user ID from two computers.
Right.
But you could from a computer and one phone. You couldn't do it with two phones. It could only be one class of device and a different class of device.
Mhm.
And the device classes were basically computer, mobile, like cell phone and tablet.
That's more.
I'm gonna let me really quickly two things. The first is I'm gonna pass host to Mike in a few minutes because tonight is my 27th anniversary, so I need to go tell my wife that I love her. And the second thing. Oh wait, what is he doing? What? Please take my picture. I'm just kidding. But the second thing is, I just wanted to really quickly. Tony asked a question in YouTube, which I've managed to ignore for the past half an hour. So I just want to. He was asking how much is Ecamm, because he knows that that's what I use to show all this stuff, and how many computers are in this meeting for me. So really quickly, yes, I use Ecamm for Zoom. I'm actually not using Ecamm for Zoom now, but I'm using Ecamm. If you're interested in something like this, I'm happy to talk to you about it. Don't buy anything now. Wait till next week or the week after, because they always have big sales. Let me know. And in this meeting right now, I'm in here twice, and once as the host and once as with my OSC computer so that I can quickly spotlight people, but I'm now leaving from that computer. So now I'm in this meeting once. And Mike, I'm gonna pass this over to you.
Sure.
Yeah. So, sorry. Who did I interrupt? I interrupted someone. I forget who I interrupted.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I interrupted someone though. I don't remember who it was.
I like the hearts. Those very nice hearts.
Yeah. Oh, John also said that Zoom is good at leaving features going when you upgrade or downgrade accounts.
That's
I wonder
good.
how, for
good insider tip.
Taylor. I wonder. Yeah. I wonder how long that'll last.
So maybe if you downgraded, maybe the server hasn't pulled all the users across all the servers yet, and you'll lose that ability in a
Yeah.
month or 3 months or
wonder.
something,
Maybe.
Or never.
or never.
That would be nice.
You actually, if you go to the, like, I'm not going to post the link, but if you go to the Zoom sales page, or if you go to the Zoom support site and you look for the prerequisites, it'll probably tell you the license you need to host multiple meetings at the same time.
Oh, a hush came over the room. Okay. I did find out this week, actually, when we're in the Josh's weekly Zoom events and Zoom sessions meeting, that believe it or not, Zoom events and Zoom sessions is 3 years old. It's their 3rd year anniversary this week. I was a little shocked, I have to admit, when I saw that, but that was very interesting to know.
I have a related incident that
Related?
happened this week with Zoom events and sessions. It
Go
showed up
ahead.
for all of my users in their personal tab on the Zoom web portal as an ad saying, ask your administrator to buy Zoom events. And I immediately fired off an angry email to first I opened a support ticket, then I called my sales rep or emailed him. And then I got in touch with another person at Zoom, and then within about a day, it was no longer showing. That sessions and events aren't part of our license by default, and we don't support it. And I just found it outrageous that they would put basically an ad in every single user's. Actually, I have a screenshot of it. I could show you what it looked like a little bit.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead, Frank.
Well, I have to find it first, so just give me a second. But yeah, it was almost like you stuck an ad in the middle of everyone's, web portal, and I'm like, I really don't like when companies do stuff like that. Like, we pay a lot of money. Why are you sticking an ad in there, So they took it away, but I didn't like that they did it in the first place. Oh, there it is. Just give me a second so I can hide a few things you can't see, or I can't share.
Yep,
All right, I'm going to screen share.
here we go.
Share. So, under your personal tab on the web portal, you get profile, meetings, webinars. They put this new button, and when you clicked on this, it was a whole ad saying contact your system administrator to
Frank,
you're not
yeah,
seeing
we're
it?
seeing your client.
Oh, sorry, I must have clicked the wrong button. Hold on.
All righty.
Try that again. Now you see it.
Yep.
Okay, so when you log into the web portal, you see your personal thing with your profile, your meetings, and your settings. This was new, and when you clicked on it, it basically said, you should buy this. This is great. Get this thing. Bug your system administrator, which I would have had to tell people, yeah, that's not part of our account license. You're gonna have to pay. Like, I found it very distasteful for them to do that. So I
It's,
hope that's not a
it's,
trend.
yeah, it's as if they didn't flag your account properly, and or in the background, in their back end.
I thought it just felt like a marketing stab, and whatever opportunity, and I wasn't happy about it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Even I know that, I'm constantly bombarded on my client all the time where, they want us to upgrade to it, again, majority of our accounts are all pro based, but they also, they keep going, oh, if you sign up by blah, 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 we'll have webinars, so you can get webinars at a good cost and such like that. All my employees have that, unfortunately, as well in their clients. So I can't disable that. There should be a way to, fine, you want to bug me as the administrator? Great. But should you be bugging all my employees? Absolutely not. But they all see it as well. So that's
Actually, I can give you an example of it. They're still doing it. Here's an example. Here's my personal section of my thing, right? So here's meetings.
Yep.
We don't have webinars by default. We didn't buy them
Right.
for our license. It was an ad just like this, except for sessions and so if you go to meetings, sure. If you go to webinars, we don't have it. Here's an ad saying get it. Buy
Right.
now. Well, they can't buy now, first of all. No one at our organization except for the owner of the account has the ability to buy anything.
Right.
And then they had another one like this and I was like, this is not good. Like, I don't like this.
Yeah, no, I agree with that as well. Because, and again, the one you're showing within the web interface, I'm talking about the actual workplace app actually has the ad at the top as well for us.
Yeah, I'm not saying Zoom will do this, but I have a problem with the company injecting ads into an app that you're paying for. If it was free, maybe I could understand. If you weren't paying anything, you might have to see some ads. That's been the history of the web and web-based applications and freeware and stuff for a long time. Adobe, whatever, limitations. But when you're paying, I don't want ads in my interface.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That makes perfect sense to me.
Did everyone leave? Is the meeting over?
Not as far as I know. It's only you and I here, and John's with us as well. He is hiding on his phone, but John is with us as well.
I do have to run away though. It's my friend's birthday and he drove here from Montreal, so we're going out for some food and stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah,
It's good.
so
Good seeing you back.
Yeah, we're still on YouTube, so I will say goodbye to YouTube, I guess, since everybody is
Before you say
pardon?
goodbye,
Yes, sir.
the ideas and concepts I have expressed are my own personal opinions and don't reflect on my employer.
Oh, Frank has officially given us the safe harbor for himself.
Let's say Frank Harbor statement.
Safe Frank Harbor, and I always believe in safe Frank Harbors. Good to see you. Do you guys do Thanksgiving, or is that just a
We've
US
already had
thing?
ours.
Yeah, we
Okay.
already had ours.
Ours is coming up. So,
Yeah, enjoy.
well, I will. The turkey may not be as favorable towards it, but I'm going to enjoy it.
The busiest travel time of the year in the US, is that right?
Every travel time they claim was the busiest,
Yeah,
but
okay.
this tends to be one that has pretty heavy traffic.
Well,
The
I
big
hope
reason
you-
for heavy traffic now is we have two horrible rainstorms affecting both the east and west coast, and that
I don't know.
causes all sorts of stress at the airports.
I was watching a bit of I think it was the Bills football game last night. It was snowing pretty good in the stadium.
Yeah, no, it's the U.S. never ceases to amaze me at how strange it could get at every level.
Well, I
You-
hope everyone has a safe and healthy, happy, festive holiday.
You take care.
Yeah, on that note, I will wrap up the show on YouTube. And again, from us Canadians to us to our friends in the US, definitely a happy Thanksgiving from everybody here at Zoom Test Kitchen. And I want to thank everyone for joining us this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to let YouTube know how much you like our content. And we'll see everyone next week. Don't forget, we're here every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern for another edition of the Zoom Test Kitchen. Take care, everyone.